Let me know where you are all joining from and then what you do. And tell me a little bit of what your financial experience looks like at this time. What is one financial problem that you are dealing with right now that you would like to solve? Type it in the comment section. Okay. Jurassic Forex is joining us from Gala City. All right, where is Gala City? I haven't heard about that. Jurassic, is that in Asia? Yeah, what country is Gala City? All right. So what money problems are you dealing with right now? What money problems are you dealing with that you would like addressed? Okay, Chidema is joining from the UK. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, so type in the comment section, what financial difficulties are you having this time that you would like some help? What financial problems are you facing? Are you trying to solve at this particular time? All right, so let's take another 2 minutes and do that, and then we'll get started. Also, let me know, either way, what are your financial goals, or what financial challenges are you dealing with right now? Could be debt, could be investment decisions, whatever. Just let me know. Okay. Chidema says investment and business plan strategies. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay. You will profit greatly from the financial fitness challenge because lots of people, they actually want to make money. In fact, this evening in the group, somebody says that quite a number of them in the financial fitness challenge group are making money in dollars, and then they want me to help them to talk about how to invest it. So if you haven't enrolled in the financial fitness challenge, I would encourage you to please do that. Because that's my mentorship group, and that's where we actually spend time fixing things that we, practical things that we don't do right here. And then I share some content over there that I don't share publicly. And if you want to enroll, just send a WhatsApp message. I'm going to give you the number, so just take it down. And then someone can also type it in the comment section for other people who are joining later. Just send me enrollment details, WhatsApp message to +234 8088 000 111. Very easy to remember. It's a special number. +234 8088 000 111. And it's important because right now is such a very fantastic investment season. There are so many opportunities right now. Whether you are looking at real estate or you're looking to my favorite, which is securities, equity market, or you're looking at some debt instruments, there are so many fantastic investment opportunities going on right now. Chidema, thank you. Thank you very much for typing that in the comment section. So send me enrollment details, including the payment details, to that WhatsApp number. And then immediately after this, I'm going to send it to you. And then, so you can join the group, because there are lots of serious things going on in that group right now. So there are bonds to buy. There are even US and European stocks, and then some stocks in the Nigerian stock exchange are performing wonders. I told some of you late last year, November, December, to buy Presco. Presco was doing about 450 Naira. As at the close of the market today, Presco was hitting 880, 890 Naira. So if you had put in 5 million into Presco in just December, so within the past 5 months, in 5 months now, that your 5 million would be approximately 10 million. So you would have doubled your income, doubled your investment return in 5 months if you did that. So some of you who did when I told you, they are thanking me. They're very happy right now. And so you see why people are there complaining about inflation, complaining about the economy and all that, there are people who are quietly investing because, to be honest with you, you can hardly achieve financial freedom without investment, without mastering investment. Remember, I've been teaching you and then we also emphasize this in the Financial Fitness Challenge. That's my mentorship group. Because there are 3 major money skills. It's not about hustling. There are 3 major money skills. It's more about wisdom than hustling. You can hustle all you want, and then at the end of it, there are people who've been hustling for the past 10 years, past 5 years since they graduated from the university. They are still hustling. Because hustling is not a strategy. And then if you hustle, it's okay. I mean, as a young man starting life, if you hustle, maybe maximum 1 year, or maximum 2 years. Any hustling beyond 18 months is no longer hustling. It's foolishness. It's lack of strategy. Because if you hustle for 1 year, you should be able to develop enough street wisdom, enough money wisdom to stop hustling. And then the only way to stop hustling, and somebody can type this down, there are 3 money skills. The only way to stop hustling is to master the 3 money skills, the 3 wealth skills. Skill number 1 is how to make money. Skill number 2 is how to manage money. And skill number 3 is how to multiply money. So make it, manage it, multiply it. So there are lots of people, who make lots of money. Some of you might even have friends who make lots of money, but they're always broke. If you know someone like that, just type, I know. Just type in the comment section, I know. Okay? Because people who make a lot of money, they may be in your family. These guys make lots of money. It's like they know how to make money. Everything they touch turns to gold. They get the clients, they get the contracts, they get fantastic offers. But then they never have money. Why? Because while they have the skill for making money, they don't have the skill for managing it. And then managing money is not enough. Because if you manage it, you don't have leverage if you're just managing. So managing money involves like setting some apart, say for emergency funds, and then for savings, and then also there's what I call Sabbath fund. There's emergency fund. There's also what I call Sabbath fund. Budgeting. So that's in the realm of managing money. But you see, if you're only managing what you're making, you will never be wealthy. The wealth cycle is completed in the 3rd M, which is how to multiply money. And that is the realm of investment. And then it's so sad that some people are in their late 20s, in their 30s, even in their 40s and 50s, and they do not have a solid investment portfolio. I don't know how you're going to do that. And so those are the 3 things to concentrate. People hustle because they have not mastered those 3 skills: the skill to make money, the skill to manage it, and then the skill to multiply that. Don't complicate it. It's not very complicated like that. Okay. Eunice says, Eunice, I believe, you're already registered in the challenge. Yes, we're going to do quite some bit. So Eunice says, I have some amount that I don't want to spend. I need to invest it this May so that it doesn't get accident. I like that. So I need guidance. And you're already registered in the challenge. Yes, we're going to do that. And then the first thing I would encourage you to do, Eunice, I've also mentioned it in the group. One of the requirements is that you must have investment accounts in the financial markets. You must play in the financial markets. That's where most of the investments, happen. Now, there are 4 kinds of markets, 4 main markets, where wealth is built and exchanged. And then, unfortunately, most of us only know about one market, namely the labor market. So all our lives been working, We've been in the labor market. And basically in the labor market, you're exchanging your time and your energy and your skills for money. The labor market is very grueling. And the problem with the labor market is if you're playing in the labor market, if that's just the way you make money, through selling your skills, selling your time, then you don't have leverage. Because anytime you are not present, say in that job or you don't have a job, you can't make money. Anytime that you're not physically and involved, the money stops. Okay, and that's the problem with the labor market, and that's where I see more than 95% of humanity play in the labor market. So they go to school, they get a degree, they come out, they prepare their CV and start looking for a job. That's called the labor market. And believe me, you can make enough, but you can never really get wealthy in the labor market. And then even if you get wealthy, if you're playing only in the labor market and you don't enter the next market I'm going to describe, your wealth can never be generational. You might earn so much in the job. So you may be a medical doctor, for instance. Of course, you're playing in the labor market because you're employed, or you're selling your time, you're selling your skills for money. You're exchanging your time for money. That's labor market. So you might be a brilliant doctor making a lot of salary, but the day you die, your son cannot inherit your medical practice. You cannot automatically become a doctor. You cannot pass on that your doctor certificate or something, or doctor skills or surgery. Maybe your son studied economics in the university or engineering or something. He cannot automatically become medical doctor just because you were a medical doctor. He cannot automatically become a renowned architect because you were an architect. So you can't pass anything on. And of course, the day you die, that's the day the salary stops. So which is gradually introducing also the topic I want to treat today. All right, but I want to get these questions touched on before we talk about that. So Eunice, what I would like you to do, I will also mention that in the group. Please go ahead and then open an investment account. Start with opening an account with a licensed stockbroker. I believe I already sent you the list. Can you confirm, Eunice, of registered stockbrokers? I can recommend 2 of the 5 that I use. There is FSDH. So FSDH. So if you just go to fsdhcapital.com or something like that, so I use them. I've used them for over 20 years. And then I also use Outlast Portfolio. So Outlast Portfolio, I like them a lot. They are very, very responsive and very, very fast. So I use FSDH because, I've been in the game with them for a long time, but I don't think that they are quite responsive. They are not as responsive as Outlast. And then I have a strategy, which I will also encourage you, So for FSDH, for instance, I do premium stocks. All my premium stocks are there. Dangote Cement, Arado, GT Bank, First Bank, all those, MTN. They are there. But I use the Outlast Portfolio for penny stocks. So like stocks that are under 10 naira, for instance, and that will likely do very well in days to come. So Eunice, if you do open the account, so in the group, you can ask more questions, let me know when you've opened it. So just type in the group, and then I'm going to give you a strategy for investing that mirrors like what I do. So there is a strategy for the penny stocks you might buy for 2 naira, 250, like a stock I'm accumulating. I want to buy a couple of millions of them. So in those penny stocks, you aim to have at least 1 million shares of each of them, at least 1 million. And it will shock you what could happen to those stocks in 5 years' time. A stock like Presco fell during the pandemic in 2020, maybe to like 10 naira or something under 20 naira. I have to check that. And then within 5 years, the stocks have gone from, 10 naira to 880 naira. So if you had invested 10 million, for instance, in 2020, in that stock, the 2020, that 10 million today will be 880 million. Just think about that. That's how rich people play, and that's how they retire. It's not hustling. If you learn investing will take hustling out of your life, because in hustling, you have to work for your money. But in investing, your money works for you. Your money does the work. And your money works better for you than you can work for it. Somebody can type that down. Your money works better, works smarter than you can work for it. For instance, your money doesn't sleep. Like right now, the investments I have are working. It's in West African time, Nigeria, Lagos, it's 8:20 now. In a few hours, we will all be going to bed in this part of the world. But my money is working. It doesn't sleep. It does not sleep. It's working for me. And whether I go on vacation or I'm driving, I'm sleeping and eating, my money is busy working for me. So that's what investing does for you. So Eunice, I hope that helps. If you need more help, please put it in the financial fitness group. You've already registered. So that's what I'm there, to help you do. Okay, so let me see what else we have here before. Far Beyond said, I've been saving and investing, but I don't know why I feel it is not enough. Would you advise I try to increase my activity for potential more earnings, or I should just keep doing what I'm doing until I'm financially capable to try new business? With investing, see, investing and patience are siblings. Then investing, let me put it this way. I'm just looking at a way to just put it, so the energy, the spiritual energy of investing is compounding. So no amount is small to invest, but investing demands consistency. It demands consistency. Invest what you have. Don't invest money that you don't have. Don't borrow to invest. Invest what you have, invest what you can, but make sure it is consistent. It's not usually the amount. It's not usually the amount. After all, when I was working at 9 to 5, earning a big salary in Chevron, I remember a friend whose name I won't mention because, she's probably watching this, I will say it, who was not earning up to 7 to 10% of what I was earning. But that individual built house comfortably, because it's not, your wealth is not how much you earn. I was a perfect example of that. Your wealth is not how much your income is. It's not how much you earn. Your real wealth is how much you are able to keep aside and multiply. That will determine how wealthy you are. So, continue what you're doing, but be very consistent. Don't spend money that you do not have, okay? Then invest what you can lose as well, because investments carry risk. They carry risk. I've invested and lost money, but it is what it is. And then you have to invest often. But you see, if I invest 10 times and then I lose money out of the 10 times, I lose money like 3, 4, even 5 times, even 7 times. If you're a very good investor, just one investment, 1 out of those 10 will multiply. And it's been my experience. I've had stocks I invested in and lost money. It happened to me in Nigerian breweries. I bought for about 48 naira then, and then the thing fell to 20 something, and I had to sell it to put in another investment. And I lost money too in Nestle. I had bought it over 1,000, like 1,001, 1,200. And the thing fell to 800 and something. It was a lot of money I lost. So I sold it at a loss. But then, you see, I now invested in UACN. I got UACN at 22. And within 2 months, it went from that 22 naira, 21, 22 naira to 37. I made my money back. All the money I lost in Nestle and in Nigerian breweries, I made them back several fold. Some of it I put in Presco. I got Presco for about 450. And then Presco is now 880 naira, 880, 890, and still climbing. I doubled it. So that's the world of investing. You will not always gain. Investing carries risk, you know, but then when you're very consistent, you're learning as you are investing, you're quietly building wealth. See, wealth is not noisy. It's not loud. Forget all these things. These occultic people are showing you, you know, all these fake wealth on social media. People who are really wealthy by honest means and investing, they don't come out flaunting and spraying dollars and then leading young people into unnecessary temptations. You know, that's why every day you read somewhere about how a young Nigerian has, you know, killed a girl or something, which they use for rituals. That's not how to make money. That's not how to make money, okay? So continue what you're doing. All right, so Grant says, my primary concern is securing adequate capital to fuel the growth opportunities I see and cash flow management these tunable times. For me, this is the best time to be alive. Whether you're talking about business, the opportunities for business are just enormous. There will always be a tunable kind of government, but governments have never been an excuse for people. I mean, many businesses that you know today were conceived in extremely hard times. Most of the businesses, even businesses like Airbnb, which other business? I'm thinking Twitter. I'm thinking WhatsApp. Most of those things were started in the crash during the 2008 or so economic crash. And they've grown to become billion-dollar businesses. So don't be using government. Never use, and if you follow me, you know, you will never use government, because governments come and go. When Sani Abacha was the military dictator in Nigeria, people thought the world was coming to an end. The guy is gone. We are still here. And then at the time he was there, there were still businesses that were there in Abacha's time that are here, because businesses will always outlast government regimes. When I did my executive coaching certification in Sarasota in Florida, my mini project was on some businesses that have lasted for centuries, 1,000 years. It was a Japanese business that has been in operation for 1,400 years, non-stop. There were businesses like Stella Artois, the beer of Belgium, that have been in operation for over 600 years. There are family businesses like the Twinings of London. The Twinings of London is over 300 years old. They are still going strong today. They're in fact like in 80 countries, doing revenues in the billions of dollars. 300 years, 1,000 years. Even before the countries existed, they were there. 600 years ago, when Stella Artois started, you didn't have Europe, the Europe you have today. You didn't have the so-called democracy. So never you use government or economic conditions as an excuse. Entrepreneurs don't think. In fact, hard times breed entrepreneurs. And so if hard times, are discouraging you, then you are not an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurs are there to solve problems. They are there to create value, even in the most difficult of times. And then entrepreneurs, what makes you an entrepreneur is that you are creative when it comes to raising capital. If you can't raise capital, you are not an entrepreneur. So And then how do you raise capital? My mentor told me, oh, but when you want to start a business and you have the capital, buy and sell. And then he said, if you don't have capital, sell and buy. Very powerful. So entrepreneurs know how to sell and buy. Go read the way Richard Branson started Virgin Atlantic. He sold and bought. And so if you have a very powerful service, maybe SaaS, SaaS software, you've written a program, and then you want to build a business around it, around that thing, sell it. Sell it first, sell the idea. Sell it, demo it. You don't need money to sell it. And then when you sell it, the money comes. Okay, so I have a group of friends who are doing exactly that right now. So cash flow is never a problem for an entrepreneur, because part of what makes you an entrepreneur is that you are able to find creative ways to raise capital. All right, is there another comment or question here I can address? I just feel like, maybe I should just, continue to have these conversations. We can handle this other topic tomorrow also. Eunice says again, I invested in Dangote Flow and Access Holding some years back, received dividends for some years, and then later heard nothing. Okay. Who is your stockbroker? This is what your stockbroker does for you. And then you also need to open an account with CSCS. So if you go to CS, if you type in your browser, CSCS portal, so you can register for the CSCS portal. That is the Central Securities something, whatever. That's where all the shares and stocks that everybody has, in the Nigerian Stock Exchange, that's where it's domiciled. It doesn't matter who the stockbroker is, whatever. So you can go there and find all. Okay. So like in my my CSCS portal, I have the 6 brokers I use, and some I don't even use again, but they're all there. The records are there. And then the stocks I have in all of them. So that's one thing to do. The second thing is to let your stockbroker do the search and all that. So even if you have unclaimed dividends, you can get it back. You probably didn't also fill the e-dividend mandate forms, because at some point before, you could get your dividends. You will get this slip that you pay in the bank. But then so many years ago, they stopped that, so they transfer directly to your bank. But if you haven't filled those forms with the registrars of these companies that you bought, that's why you haven't been getting your dividends. But that does not mean that you have lost them. They are unclaimed. And then when you do your e-dividend mandate, you can get your shares back, Eunice. I hope that helps. All right, let's see. Oh, Batella says, I would like to be involved in small investments. Go for it. Do I have to download their apps? Just go to their website and register. Okay, so I can send you the links so just type in the group, in the Financial Fitness Challenge group that you belong to. Just ask me for tell me that we talked about this, and then ask me for the links, and then I'll send it to you there. You just fill them. And of course, you can trade on your phone. You can trade on your phone using their platforms. And why I like them, whichever stockbroker you want to register with must have what we call direct market access, DMA. So DMA allows you to trade directly in the market without having to pick phone to call stockbroker. Oh, I want to buy so shares of Arado, or I want to buy this of Zenith Bank or Dangote Cement. You just decide what you want to buy, and then you go ahead and buy it. You place the order live as the market is rolling. Before, when we started in the stock market 20-something years ago, you have to drive to their office to fill a mandate form and then sign. Then they will go on. But this one, you can see the bids and the ask live. You see the stock prices live as they are changing. And you see, as people are buying, the volumes that they are buying, you see all that. And it helps to make some very good decisions. So that's why I use FSDH. Atlas Portfolio also has that. Okay, but I really like the FSDH interface. It's just so beautiful because when I want to buy in the same place, I can see for the particular equity I want to buy, I can see the ask, I can see the bid, I can see the price ranges for the day. Above all, I can see what the sellers are offering, and I can see what the people bidding are bidding. That's fantastic information. Because many times, people don't know that you can buy a stock at a discount. So the stock might be saying 1,000 naira. But you can buy that stock at, 900. Because in the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the maximum movement allowed is 10% up or 10% down. So for a particular trading day, the stock price cannot go beyond 10%. So 10% of 1,000 is 100. So the highest you can sell that day is 1,100. And the lowest you can sell is 900 naira. But if you don't know, you will buy 1,000. But if you buy 1,000 same day, same stock, and then I who bought 900, I immediately have profit. But then you're buying your own at the market price, which is 1,000 or even 1,500, 1,100. And I'm buying 900. So even though we invested the same amount of money, you bought it 200 naira more than I did. So I already have profit. And then you're already, in a very, very sort of high price position. And then the direct market access allows you to see all those things so that you can place your bid appropriately. You don't have to buy at the market. But most new investors do not know. So they just see the price quote and then they buy at the market price. So you don't have to download any app, but you can trade on your mobile phone. Yes, Chidema, you're correct. In investing, money works for you even better than you can. Absolutely. Okay, Eunice, you're welcome. Chidema also captured the aha moment. Investing and patience are siblings. You cannot talk about investing without talking about patience. That's why if anybody comes to you and say, this one, put in your 1 million, and then every week we'll be paying you 2 million. Wow, and people fall for that. Reinvestments don't work like that, As people in Cybex have finally realized, And then as we're talking about that, I hear that there's another one. There's another one coming. Okay? Obatele says, I'm very honest. I need somebody to guide my every small step in investments. Register for the Financial Fitness Challenge. Pay to learn. Learn to. Because many times we don't take anything serious that we're giving. I have so many free things. Free things. All these things free. If you go to my YouTube channel, which of course, if you've not registered, you need to, if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, you need to do that right now. I have a very amazing gentleman that I follow. He's a wealth coach and he's very good. So he often says, if you're not following me, you're losing money. Yeah, and I can borrow that too. So if you're not following, you're losing money. Okay, very good. Let's see. Is there any other question? Yes, Olamide, you're correct. Businesses will always outlive any government. Yeah. Look at Microsoft, for instance. Since they started in the 1970s, how many American governments? Microsoft has outlived Reagan, outlived, who came after Reagan? Was it Bush? Has outlived Clinton, has outlived Obama, has outlived Joe Biden, will outlive Trump. Business, don't take businesses for. So don't be looking at businesses and then letting whatever current government is in place, the business that have been 100 years. In 100 years, do you know how many political office holders come and go? So don't let whatever the current government is doing confuse you. Okay, let me see if there's any other question I can handle. And I think this is just where we can pack this conversation tonight. So Chidima says, how do you manage a health facility back home without being deceived? Ensure your finances are secured and standard maintained. Okay, Chidima, I will need more context to that, but the secret to running a healthy business that is profitable, where you don't lose, describing the sort of thing you're talking about, the secret is systems and structures. So I might not know the particular context, if they have health facility that you're talking about, but there are, so systems and structures will help, make any business work. If you don't have a structure and it's just anything goes kind of a thing, then it won't work. And if you don't have system for everything, which has got to be written down, standard operating procedures for doing things, looking at the things that have worked, and then putting all those things into systems for procurement, systems for marketing. I know you don't market health facilities, but systems for awareness, people to get to know that, systems for treatment, systems for customer service. You've got to put systems. Once you have systems, you can go to sleep. So when I do one-on-one coaching, I have some businesses I'm working with. And in fact, what we're doing for one of my client businesses right now is developing systems. Because if your business cannot run without you, then what you have is not a business. It's just a glorified job. And that's what many of us, small business owners, have. We just have job for ourselves. But systems and structures properly set up will free you. And then that business will continue to make money even when you are not there. Look at Microsoft. Bill Gates left since. But every year they're still making billions. And then look at Apple, who when Steve Jobs was alive, he was literally the spirit and the soul of Apple. But he's long gone. And that company is still doing well today. It's because of structure and systems. And then there are processes to do that, okay? So I have coaching programs for that. All right, let's take some more. Does Outlast have app? I'm not aware, but I'm not sure I understand why we are so app focused. You can log in to their direct market access on your laptop. You can log on to it on your phone. What is this app thing, about? So I keep hearing, do they have app? Do they have app? App basically gives you mobility, and then you have it. The same mobility. So I don't know. They may have an app, but I don't know. I just use them. I use my laptop to trade. And then when I'm on the move and I don't have laptop, I also buy shares and sell shares with my mobile phone. I still log onto the platform because you get a login. You get a login name. You have your password, and then you can log in from any part of the world that you choose. All righty. So just says I bought GTB, IBTC Bank. First Bank is not showing on my portal. Okay. I'm not sure why, but talk with your stockbroker. Must I type your name on YouTube? Yeah, if you type Ogbo Awoke Ogbo, there's only one channel that will come up. And then, of course, you see the videos. I hear that I'm being, people are impersonating me these days in many places, but I haven't seen it on YouTube. But I'm being impersonated on TikTok, on Instagram or something. But if you follow me, you know exactly. I will never ask you for money, and I will never send you to some stupid website or put you in a group talking about crypto or forex or something. I won't do that. So if anybody is sending you there, it's definitely not me. All right. So, I hope this has been very helpful, just having this interaction with you this evening. We can continue on the original topic that I had in mind tomorrow, but I think it's been quite refreshing speaking with you and then hearing what you're dealing with. So once in a while, we should do things like this, question and answers, so that I can directly address your financial concerns. But let me leave you with a word of encouragement. Please don't panic because of the way the times are. Focus on principles and keep your head high. Just focus on wealth building principles. Principles work in good times and bad times. So don't worry. And then also hard times are always followed by times of plenty. And then after times of plenty and abundance, there will economic hardship. There will also be a economic relief. That is how the world has been working. So that we are having challenging times economically now does not mean that it's going to continue forever. So don't put your hand into something that you're going to regret later, something that violates your values or violates your conscience just because you want to do money. Focus on principles. Be contented where you are while dreaming and taking action to be in a better place. This will come to pass. But while it is happening, follow principles. Learn those 3 skills: how to make money, how to manage money, and how to multiply money. And you'll be okay. Be patient. You'll be okay. Delay gratification. And then hunger does not kill. Hardship does not kill. It's mindset you bring to hardship, that hurts. So you are going to be okay. And then above all, please find yourself in a group where you hear positive things, read a lot, quit listening to just entertainment and skits and comedy skits on social media, but find podcasts that can help you build your mind. Find communities that are discussing wealth. These sort of things that we're talking about. You see, some of you have been lifted just listening to this. Can you imagine if you're listening to something like this on a daily basis? It's going to improve your awareness and then ultimately improve your finances. And whatever happens, keep showing up because you have no idea what's coming your way next. And I'll see you same time tomorrow.